Yep.
Okay. So,
Yeah. Oh, good morning.
good
Today
morning.
is fantastic. It's a great day. So today, and normally I start out and I just, talk to you a little bit. But today I'm gonna let you in on behind the scenes. Okay? So one of the delusions that people have, right, is that they think that you're supposed to know and arrive at perfection today,
Right.
right?
Yes.
And, you know, in the instant, the moment you make a mistake, you have to fix it right then and there and go back. And there's a lot of things that you can do that with, right?
Yes.
You can recognize you're wrong, you can go back and fix it, right? But the gross majority, 90%, I'd say, you have to go through a process. All right. So one of the processes is setting the time, right? Now, what most of you don't know is to set the time, it takes a 7 year cycle. You can only set the time in the first year.
Yes.
All right. You can only set the time in the first year. Okay. So we were commanded to set our year the first month in Nissan,
Yes. Which is in fall.
which is in the fall. However, the beginning of the year for the earth
Yes.
is spring, it's Tishri. So there's two first.
So like 2 New Years.
There's two New Years, right? There's the New Year's for the world, for the earth, and everything that dwells in it. And then there's our New Year, our birth. Okay? Our Independence Day. Okay? So the birth of us coming out of Egypt is the same as Adam's birthday. All right? The birth of us coming out of Egypt is the same as Adam's birthday. Okay? So Adam is born in Nisan, right? In the 7th month. The whole earth exists before 7 months before Adam gets his creation. He's not created in Tishri on the first of the head of the year. He is created in Nisan. So with this, you have to understand how to set the time.
Yes.
Okay. So also with myself, I come out in Nissan, right? It was Nissan, it was 7 years ago. So I'm in the beginning, I'm in my 8th year right now. So when I came out and I first began to flush out the calendar and to learn the time, it was not possible for me at that time to make the adjustments. You can have 364 days. You can set the seasons by estimate, but pinning down the day to perfection is not possible. And if you miss the first year, it gets worse the second year. And you'll never be able to catch it again until you come all the way back around to year one. So people say, well, does that mean that you did your first years with the feast days and everything in error? Yes, but that's par for the course. We're not keeping the feast days right anyway.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you have it on the right day. If you don't have all the stuff necessary, you're not keeping it.
Yes.
Now, it's horrible if you have all the stuff and it's on the wrong day,
Right.
thereby making an abominable day, a festival day. You see? So the beautiful part is coming in now, right, with this first year. The time gets to move how it wants, and I just keep the observation.
Right.
So you can only set the year, you can only set the time. You must be in the land. This is one. You must be in the land. You must be in the land. You must be within the confines of the sanctuary. You must know the time and how it moves, right? And you have to have sages,
Yes.
right? There must be sages among you. So for 7 years, I learned it and I began studying the law. And we had some brothers come out and they were tested as to whether or not they would walk the law to learn it with me. Okay? Out of all of them who fell by the wayside, there is a brother who remained. One who remained loyal, one who remained faithful, one who understood to remain fixated on the law and what's necessary for the building of the nation. So I sat down with him yesterday and we're on watch because we're watching for the new moon. Now, you say, what's the importance? Well, in the first year, you can only set it at the beginning or at the end of the first year. Okay? And since the first year starts upon Nisan, the first our new year, we have to set it at the end of the year.
Okay.
Right? Rabbi Sheikh, how did you come to this? So the law that the Most High moves his people in, they are not permitted to move or travel great distances in the seventh year. Right? So the Most High cannot bring them out of the Exodus, to exodus them, to move them in the seventh year. He will not violate his law. You might violate it, but the Most High doesn't violate his law. Okay? So when he brought the children of Israel out, he has to move them in one of 6 years, but he cannot move them on the seventh. Now, the same thing happens while they're in the wilderness. The cloud moves from time to time, but it said sometimes they sat in the place for a year.
Right.
Because the cloud does not move on the Shabbat year, the seventh year. So when I traveled back this year, this is again cycle one, the beginning again, right? 2023, we're moving forward. This is year one. So I come out in the first year. But now I know when I get to the 12th month, I can adjust for the time and I speak and will say, in the 12th month of the first year only, the new moon will come in. And if it comes in with perfection, then we know we will have to adjust for the days.
Right.
Right? If it comes in, we know at the end in the 12th month it is fixed that the new moon will come in 10 days too soon. So we are watching for the new moon of the 12th month. What are you looking for? We're looking to see whether it will be 2 days or 3 days. If it's 3 days, it is a sign that we are to begin Tishri. If it's 2 days, we know it has come in 10 days too soon, and Tishri will begin 10 days later. You understand? This the rule is a law for the first year only. You look at the moon and for the month right before Tishri, and you can mark your time because the earth's time is fixed and it has been fixed. We change the numbering of the month. So it is the 12th month for the earth. It is the 6th month for us, the month of Elul. So now when I'm looking at the time, the new moon came in and it was 2 days. I knew immediately it has come in 10 days too soon. So we, the sages, sat down and plotted the time. Today is now Elul the 20th. Okay? On the 21st tomorrow will be Shabbat. So Shabbat will now be on a Friday if you're on Gregory. Okay? The 28th will be next week, next Friday. And the first will be, the first of the month will be the first of Tishri, and it will be next Saturday. And all of the feast days will flow according to this appointment for the next 7 years. But next 7 years, we will adjust the time again.
Right.
But from the beginning of the first year instead of the end
Of the first year. So when we're looking at the moon, one of the things was interesting when you were sharing this last night was that, people think, oh, I just go look up in the sky and see the sliver. But you shared something so important, the position
right.
of the moon and the sliver.
Yes.
Because when it's low,
Right.
it's one thing,
And if
and when it's high,
it's another.
It's another. So it's not just going outside looking at the sliver.
Right.
No, it's about positioning.
The first sliver on the first evening, right? Early in the evening, early in the afternoon, the first sliver you see setting in the west is the sign that the next day is the next working day.
Wow.
Okay?
Yes.
It doesn't signal the first of the month. It only does that, right? For the beginning, the first month, Tishri, right? And only does that in the first year. So the first year, the first month, the first sliver signals the first day of that month. So it locks the calendar into a specific time and a specific season so that after that, all the days come in fixed. It fixes the time. All the first line up on one day. If you miss that first day, at the end of the year, in the first year, you can make the accounting for the adjustment knowing that the new moon will come in 10 days too soon. So instead of it appearing on the evening of the 28th, it will appear the evening of the 29th. That evening will be the last evening on the 18th. That evening will be the last evening that you'll see the moon. in the first year only. So it has to be a first to set the first for the first. And you get the other opportunity to make an adjustment because, and this is, so you all know, this is the same thing that the children of Israel went through.
Yes.
You have to come out, and then there's an adjustment and of a setting of the times and orders. Because while they were in Egypt, they were on Egypt's time,
Time. Yes.
right? Moses, he has to get an adjustment and an allotment of time after his first 7 year period. It took Moses 7 years to go and bring the children of Israel out of Egypt. And when he brought them out, they were having the same issues with Moses because Moses has to now say, okay, we're on this time. I have to make an adjustment and then appoint and set the time, which is why the priesthood was not installed until the end of the second year. Okay? It's the end of the second, at the end of at the end of, not the end of the second year, but the beginning of the second year is the end of the first. So in the second year, the beginning, at that last month, Adar, before Nisan, the priesthood is installed.
See, so this is why it's so important of us gathering, coming back together and establishing our community, building our kingdom, our nation, so that everything can come together in order.
Right. And there's a process.
Yes, it is.
And in teaching people the process, one idle belief is that perfection comes from the onset. No, there is a process. There is the beginning of something, there is the gaining of understanding and its development, and then there is a resetting and a how to set should you have come from out of a problem. So how do you reset coming out of captivity? This is how you would do it. Right? You have to know where the time sits. And so now here we are. Today is the 20th of Elul. I'm going to put a calendar up. And so you can see what our calendar looks like and how we mark the days. And literally, tomorrow is Shabbat. Next week, Friday will be Shabbat. But the Feast of Trumpets, will be on the next day following Shabbat. Okay?
Yes.
Then 9 days after that, we'll be going into atonement. So this is an exciting time.
Yes, it is.
I'm glad I'm able to share this with you because it has taken 7 years with faithfulness and with consistency to get to the point. To be able to finally set the time. Because last year, this time, I was in America. So I was unable to set the time. You must be in the land. You must be in the sanctuary to do it. Right?
Yes, sir.
So being in the land, being in the sanctuary, I am now able to set it on the back end, having come out of Babylon and coming into the land, I'm able to set the time. So when your time is wrong,
right,
I told you, you're going to have to, it's going to be wrong and you're going to have to rock with it.
That's one of the beautiful things about being where we are at this time with the law, because, I was the type of person that really struggled with perfectionism, trying to be perfect, trying to make myself perfect. And I finally came to a realization that no, I cannot make myself perfect. And you sharing this last night, it was really a joy because it lets me know that the word is being fulfilled because in Jubilees it says that we will be off on the days, the years, the Shabbats, the new moon. That would be also, it's like, oh, I'm really walking out this law. And so it was very comforting,
Right.
to be at this place and to understand that no, I cannot make myself perfect. I will fail in life because I used to be afraid of failure. I will beat myself up for failing. That will cause me to go into depression, cause me to walk with anxiety, feeling as a failure. But in this life, we will fail and it's okay. We can take that failure and use that to push us into continuous movement, growing and learning, so this is a very, very exciting time. I feel,
I do too. I mean, for me, it's a wonderful thing,
Yeah.
you know? So with it being what it is, right? So some of you are saying, oh, 2016, um, how do you know that this is this? And how do you know that this is that? And you have to start because you don't understand what happened in 2016, right? So it was in 2016 that the reparations were, we had the meeting at the UN,
Yes.
right? But it didn't start. 2016 is just when we had the meeting and made the announcement for us to be let go, right? So it starts the beginning, spring of 2016. I came out
In the fall.
in the fall, right? The court case was won at the end of 2015. You see? So things move, and it's a gear-like mechanism, right? This has its time and this has another time. So it's interwoven. Everything is set to the same clock, but appointed to different times in the clock,
Yes.
right? If it's 6 o'clock, the shorthand is pointing to the six,
Right.
and the long hand is pointing to the 12,
Right.
right? It looks like it's a straight line, but one is pointing to two different numbers.
Yes.
There's two different timings.
Right.
And so this is where we are today. So I just want to share that with you. So if you all are walking out the calendar with us, reset your time. Today is the 20th, the first of the month. Will be in
next
week, Saturday. And I'm going to release this video early. I'm going to release this video the day it's made, which is today, so that there be no confusion and we all have the same set time.
Yes.
All right? We'll be right back. All right. So we're picking up with Deuteronomy chapter 12. And now that the time has been set, the beauty of this is we can finish before atonement.
Yes.
We can finish this before atonement. So we can finish Deuteronomy, go into atonement with the law being completely completed and read. And from this point moving forward, we can now move into after the atonement, going into judgment. Having completed the reading of the law multiple times, because most people don't know, you've read the law multiple times with us, and the Most High is repeating himself with greater and greater details of explanation and application. Right? So we're in chapter 12 of the Deuteronomies and verse 1. Alrighty. I'm getting my tablet to the chapter. I know you all are waiting patiently. I appreciate it. So chapter 12 begins. These are the statutes and judgments which you are to observe, to do in the land.
Yes,
So
yes.
you see how I'm teaching you the ordering of the time and how the time can be reset after being lost. Okay? But it can only be done in the first year, but you're not in the first year. Right?
Yes,
You're not in
sir.
the first year of your Exodus. You'll be coming out at the time that you're ready. Right? After you've seen the purge come to your village, town, and the place of the country you flee into, you will understand after you've seen it. So right now, I'm setting the time because this is the second 7. All right?
Correct me if I'm wrong based on this statement, and we've heard this very statement several times, but I don't know, it's really popping up out today. It says, these are the statutes and judgments which you are to observe to do in the land.
Yes.
So we had learned that the judgments and the statutes are the to do things, the how.
Right. How to do
How to do.
and how you think.
Yes. So is it safe to say that, yes, where you are, you can hear about the law? Now that we have internet, so you're able to, through you sitting here, going through, we are able to learn about the law. But to actually do the law, to walk it out, you have to, no doubt about it, you have to be here in the land to even exercise and do it. So if you're not here in the land, there is no way that you can do the law where you are.
No.
Thank you.
There's no way that you cannot perform it outside of the land. You can try, but it's not accepted, but you can attempt it. So this is how you adjust your judgment. If you wish to be upright before the Most High and be righteous, you must do what he says to do, how he says to do it, where he says to do it at the appointed time. So right now we have to rebuild coming out of captivity and being scattered. He says to go and come into the mountains.
Yes,
Right?
he does.
Right? So he says, gather yourself to the borders. Well, in order to gather yourself to the borders, you just can't go and go get an apartment and just move in and just, I'm here and I'm waiting. It don't work like that. You have to organize yourself. You have to begin the preparatory work.
Mm-hmm.
Most people misunderstand this.
Yes.
The preparatory work begins when the preparatory work begins when you initially need to get set up to perform something. Preparatory work. So before you can begin to start the sacrifices, you have to have the bare minimum amount of sheep according to the instruction. You understand?
Yes.
Once you begin sacrificing again, you cannot
Right.
cease.
Right. It has to continue.
You have to grow. So if in your first year you just begin the perpetuals, alhamdulillah, you've begun the perpetuals. If in your second year you're able to do the perpetuals and the new moon feast, alhamdulillah,
Right.
you've grown to the perpetuals and the new moon feast. When you're able to keep the perpetuals, the new moon feast, and then all the high feast days with perfection, alhamdulillah, you have now grown to keeping the festival days with their proper sacrifices in order. So there's a growth process. You don't get there
Overnight.
overnight. Okay? If we can do it in 1 year if we work together. Meaning everyone contributes.
Right. Right.
You cannot worry about those who don't contribute.
Yes.
Those who do not contribute, you have to look at them as being cut off. The Most High want nothing to do with you until you change and begin to convert to the proper way of doing things. So you have to come together. We have to buy land as a community. There is no other way around it. Okay? Some people are saying, well, I'll give to you when you get famous. I'll never be famous.
Right. Right. And you know, Robert, me being here since 2020, and I know others that have come. And as you know, as a witness to what you have said, many of us have come here. We've got an apartment, and we just been waiting. And I recognized that there was no effectiveness. Everybody in their own cliques, you know, everybody doing their own thing. And there's been nothing effective. You know, nothing growing. No real learning of custom. That's the key. Everyone has their ideas of the law, but not really know the law. And act as though because they are here that they're safe. We're okay. And through that experience, I've learned now that you've come here and you have been teaching and sharing and joining, I'm seeing an effect. You know what I mean? I am really seeing the importance of coming out, of gathering together, learning the law with the customs, with the LLC, that there is an effect. I am literally seeing.
So it's the LLC is the land,
Yes.
the law, and the customs.
Yes.
You gotta have all three.
Yes.
So if you listen to yesterday's class, you'll start to notice like the classes are succinct in establishing the basis for what we need to do.
Yes.
You have the wrong organization. Your organization begin with coming together to buy land, under the law and the customs and traditions. To learn the customs and traditions, you're going to have to come out and join us, right? Traditionally, I don't dress like this.
Right.
I don't. Well, why are you dressing like this now? I'm dressing like this now as a reflection of you, right? This is how dumb you look. This is not traditional dress. I want to wear my traditional dress, but when I wear my traditional dress, because you don't understand, it is off-putting and offensive to you. It offends you. So now I'm just going to read you the law, and we will change garments together. Right? None of you are wearing traditional garments. None of those patent leather Power Ranger suits is correct.
Curtain fringes, none of that. Ooh,
None of that is correct. So we have the law which tells us the details to correct it. Right? We have the law that tells us the details, but now we have to do the preparatory work. So who here is going to be the hyacinth flower farmer and going to make the dyes in big vats? Somebody
has to do it.
has to make this assignment. Okay? Who's beekeeping so that the flowers all get pollinated so that we can continue to multiply and have large volumes of dyes to dye our yarn? Who's weaving the yarn from the goat's hair on the goats so that we can grow fringes, right? And make cords. These things have to be done. There is no shortcutting the system.
Right.
It must be one way. So again, if you want to observe these judgments and statutes, meaning if you want to change your mind and think lawfully and do it, perform the lawful judgments, how they're supposed to be done, you're going to have to do it in the land. Okay? And it says, do it in the land which Yah, Allah of your fathers, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You have to do it in the land which the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob giveth you. Now, I'm not talking to everybody. I'm talking to the children, the blood children of Israel. The ones scattered all over the world from slavery. Okay? The ones that don't know who they are, where they belong, who they belong to. The ones that don't have history before colonization. I'm talking to you, black people. You look like me. All right? So you have to do it in the land of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And that's for you sons of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And the daughters that wish to be with the sons of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And the children of the sons of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, born to the daughters of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob from the sons of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You know, you got to specify.
Yeah, you have to specify because a lot think that they have these children by the strange women that they're good, all good, and that's not the way it is.
I'm gonna tell you, the children you have with women outside of the women of Israel, they gonna be some angry individuals.
Yes, they are.
Angry. The women who have children, mixed children, and the men who have mixed children, both of those children are going to be upset. We'll get to those laws in a minute. So you have to go into the land which Yah, your Allah, gave your fathers to inherit all the days that you live upon the earth. So this is a permanent move you have to make.
Yes.
All the days that you live. So I'm here. My sister is here. And even the ones that are here but not associated, they have made the initial first step
Step.
in coming out. Now, what's the problem? There is no place for us to gather together and to learn together yet. There will be in a few months.
Yes.
You know, I spoke to Khalid, the engineer, just a couple of days ago.
Yes, you did.
And we are discussing which sites will be best to begin the work to build. So this is happening as we speak. But I didn't give. It's happening without me. I could just show up. Don't try it.
No.
Don't try it. No.
Because that's what a lot of them waiting on.
I know.
Yeah.
You're trying to slide in and bless the Most High. You made it on the skin of your. No.
Because it clearly states that you have to give your dedicated service.
Of
You
your
have wealth. You have to do something. Ain't no free fall.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So again, you will have to give. You will have to serve. Just wanted you to know. Now it says, you shall utterly destroy all the places in which the people whose land you will possess have worshipped their idols upon the high mountains and hills and under every tree of beautiful form. Now it says the ones that you possess. So you're not roaming around. You're not roaming around just destroying these places.
That's right.
All right? You're not doing that. What you are doing is when you buy the village, because you'll get the whole area. We're buying the neighborhood. When we buy the neighborhood, we destroy these places after they have been purchased. We own the land, we do what we want with it.
Right.
This is here, destroy this. We must put up the right thing for us. Okay? You shall lay their altars in ruin, break down their pillars, burn their abominations with fire, and utterly destroy the images of their idols and abolish their names from that place. So, in order to erase their names from that place, you going to have to possess that land to change it.
Right.
You cannot do it without having possessed it. You have to buy it. We don't see that in the scripts. Go to Jeremiah chapter 50 and you'll see it there. Right?
Yes, sir.
It says, buy land, take witnesses, and seal unto it. These are government seals and documents for your proof of purchase. Because here, when you own land, you don't pay annual taxes on it.
It's what Jeremiah did with Baruch.
I just said that. It's
Yeah,
in Jeremiah chapter
it's
50.
right there in writing.
It says to do this. It's not just Jeremiah and Baruch, but it's whoever they buy the land from.
Right.
Right? Whatever governing body is there, you have to deal with them. Deal with them in this way, and then you'll have peace to do the things in which the Most High said to do. Nobody can be mad if I tear down places with idols
Right. It
on
doesn't
my land.
instigate a war
No,
and all that
no,
stuff. That's not what we supposed to do.
no, this is not that. Okay?
And when you look at it, our father Abraham, that's how he conducted business. He paid for the land. You know what I'm saying? He paid for the caves. This is how, and everyone talking about, oh, I want to be like my father Abraham. Well, understand that Abraham followed a way that was customary for us. He didn't go outside of that.
Right. Now I need you to pay attention to this next instruction. So it says to do this with idols.
Yes.
Not so. Don't do this. Not so may you do to blot out the inscription of the name of Yah your Allah. So if you see Allah written, you cannot remove this inscription.
Ooh.
You see this?
Oh, yes, sir, I do.
You cannot touch Allah. This, no, no, no. Which now brings you to a different
Yes.
understanding.
Yes.
So, what happened if we buy this land and there is a masjid here?
Don't touch.
You don't touch it. There's no idol in the masjid. There's no idol in the mosque. But there's an idol in Mecca. You didn't get Mecca. We not at Mecca. It's not here.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Oh, but they pray to it. So what?
But
They pray to it over there. I don't care. It's not here.
right.
You see? Most High is teaching you something.
Yes, he is.
One step at a time, one day at a time. You have to be very careful with the judgments.
Yes, you do.
It's not a free for all. It's not as simple as it sounds. You have to understand. Allah, no, this Allah. This good.
Yes.
What's this? This idol. No, this have to go.
Right.
Right? So if you see hands with eyes, that is burned down. Right? If you see other religious items and religious relics, this have to go. Symbology. No, no, no. This out. Allah. No, don't touch.
That's right.
This is good.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
But in the land which Yah, your Allah, will choose out of all of your tribes for his Shekinah to dwell there, unto the place of his Shekinah shall you have recourse and come thither. So, whatever location that the Most High provide for you or for us as a people, that's the place you're to come. Right? You still have to contribute to the buying before you come there. Don't try to come and you ain't contributing. I'm just telling y'all, because we got some ignorant folk in the family. They don't know. I know the ones who do know. I know you're probably sick of me talking about it, but I'm not talking to the obedient. I'm talking to the disobedient that they might find mercy before the Most High. so that you may come thither, or come here, come close, come near, and bring your sacrifices and consecrated oblations, your
Wow.
tithes, the separation of your hands, your vows, your voluntary offerings, and the firstling of your herds and flocks. So you have to get the land
First.
first. Then you get the things to put on the land and prosper them. Then you give the offering.
Right.
So if you have a crop, if we buy the land now and we sow now, right?
Right.
Buy the land now and we sow on it now, then you have to understand that in this time, we're not giving anything to the Most High until the crop come up. The ground has to produce first. The sheep have to give birth first.
Yes.
You have to buy them and multiply them first. There's no firstling until they give birth.
Right.
We'll be back right after this. All right. So you have to be in the land. You have to buy it. You have to possess it before you can perform the righteous deeds. So now you're saying, so what's the difference between me getting an apartment with you and me getting an apartment with somebody else? First of all, with me, you're not getting an apartment. You're not paying me rent. There's no lease agreement. What? You're not leasing the apartment from me or from anyone for that matter. Okay? When you come in, the apartment is yours. The only stipulation is that you will abide by this law to keep it, and you will continue in the process and in the walk. That is the price of your stay. And you will work, right? And from what you work, even being here, you receive sustainment. You receive housing, you receive food, and you work for the growth and development of the nation. Okay? This is national business. Okay? What about personal business? You can conduct personal business as well. It's personal. I'm not, it must be lawful. Again, okay? Any harm that your business may bring, you will be held liable for and you will be brought to the court. Okay? It's not a free for all here. Okay? So, moving forward, now you have to have your sacrifices, land first, possess the land,
Yes.
raise up what you need to bring your sacrifices at the appointed time.
Right.
And there you shall eat before Yah your Allah. So you're eating all of these sacrifices,
You're eating.
you eat them.
As you always say, it's a huge barbecue.
It's a barbecue, it's stew, it's jerk,
Yeah.
whatever you like, you gonna eat it in the land before the Most High. And rejoice in, you read this next line.
Okay. And rejoice in all that you put your hand onto.
What?
And rejoice in all that you put your hand onto.
So we get to rejoice with bringing the sacrifices and barbecuing and eating because you put your hand in to buy this land. You put your hand in to build the buildings. You put your hand in to plant the food. You put your hand in to raise the crops. Now you rejoice. We a nation now. You can rejoice. We have
Right.
something to sing and dance about.
Right. So many of us have put the cart before the horse,
You want the celebration.
that you're Israel, but it states here that the celebration doesn't come until we're in the land, possessing the land,
possessing it,
raising the
raising up.
livestock and the crops and everything that we're doing, and bringing our offerings and sacrifices.
That's the celebration
That's the celebration.
for all the work that we done and for the possession that we now have.
Yeah.
That's what we are celebrating. This is what the celebration is for. Yet you out there talking about your birthday.
Wow.
Your birthday don't mean nothing, and neither do any of these other holidays.
Right.
We don't have a nation. It's not worth nothing. What are we celebrating?
Right.
Our deaths? Why? Why am I celebrating you getting closer to death? The extension of life comes with doing this on our land.
Yes. This is during the feast days and all of this and Sabbath and all this stuff, and we don't have none of this in order, don't mean nothing. There is no celebration now. There's none.
Okay.
So why are we fooling ourselves
I don't know.
doing this?
Because we're crazy.
I mean, we should really be evaluating, examining ourselves to realize how guilty we are.
Wholly retarded.
Yeah, we're retarded.
Retarded.
See, I can accept that.
So, all right. So read this. Finish reading again.
Let me
Just
start
start
back.
at the beginning.
And you shall there eat.
Shall there, meaning in the land.
Right.
There. You shall in the land
Yes.
eat from what you have grown.
Eat before Yah your Allah.
So remember the context of the last video. You got the wrong LLC. Remember that you now eating before Yah because his eyes are on the land constantly evaluating what you're doing and what is the result of it, and that it is what he instructed. So you there eat where the Most High is looking, in the land, in the mountains, because it said in the mountains.
Yes, it did.
Right here in this verse. Right? It says, you shall be there upon the high mountains and hills. We are in the mountains now.
Yes.
We here. And do what?
And rejoice in all that you put your hand unto, you and your households.
So now, if your household doesn't want to serve the Most High, you have the obligation to move away from that household. You are not to turn a blind eye and uphold the wickedness. No, I'm gonna say it.
That's right.
You
Absolutely correct.
You want to uphold wickedness, and then you want the Most High to have mercy upon the wicked, hoping they get right. They don't. The only thing you're doing is softening the blow and letting them believe that they right in the wickedness that they are doing. So now I'm telling you what to do. Get up, close out business, whatever you need. When I say close out business, I don't mean, shut down your online internet business or whatever you got coming in. When I say close out business is alert your family. This is what I'm doing. This is where I am, and this is where I'm going.
Yep, tie up your loose ends.
Tie up your loose ends.
And bounce.
Send your money and come right behind it.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, you and the money can arrive at the same time.
Right.
That's acceptable. We take collections upon arrival too. Right? That's because it's straight up. Now, again, you may have to understand, because you didn't prepare a place, you ain't got one.
That's right.
No, because you didn't trust. And I understand if you don't have trust. So now you have to incur the additional cost of going through the process and sustaining yourself here while we still go out and get what is necessary for us as a people. So again, I said this before, everybody doesn't have that type of wealth. If you
Right.
don't have the wealth to sustain yourself here while we go through the months long process of building and getting everything laid out and established, right? Because we may get something and it may need some work. So now we have to adjust, do the work, and then go behind it. You have to be prepared. Okay? If the supermarket has to be built, it take a month to build the first level to get the supermarket open and done. Well, it's going to take the time that it takes, which means you're just going to have to sustain yourself for the time.
Right.
If you don't have that strength of sustainment, then understand where you are and don't move hastily. Sow into your future to prepare. Get your visa, get your passports, have everything aligned.
Yeah.
Say, you know what? I'll be out in 6 months. I need all of this to be ready and come in 6 months. That's fine. Right? We have a sister says, well, I have to close out my business affairs in Tanzania before I come to Jordan. No problem. You still have to do the same thing.
Right.
The nation does not get built on a wish. It is not going to fall out the sky. These are the instructions to build it.
In which Yah your Allah will have blessed you.
So the blessing and the proof of the blessing is the LLC, the land, the law, and the customs, and getting the things you need to do it. You do the obedient actions to get it, you're guaranteed to get it.
It will not be lawful for you to do there as we do here today, whatever anyone thinks fit for himself.
It will not be lawful for you to do here as you do there today.
Right.
When Moses was saying this outside of Jordan
Right.
to the east in Oman. And he's saying, listen, when you get to go into this land and cross Jordan, it's not going to be fit for you to do anything unlawful as you have done to get over here today. So the wrongness that you have done that got us in this scattered condition today, far away from the point and the destination and the work that's needed today, you cannot make these types of decisions. Well, I feel and I think and my truth. All of those are lies.
Yes, it is.
They don't. Oh, we need to control the narrative. This ain't a story. You manipulating the narrative. I'm not. I'm telling you what the narrator said. The Most High is the narrator of what happens in this world. You are deceiving yourself. Continue.
For you are not yet come to the sanctuary. Yeah, I see it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shall I repeat that? For you are not yet come to the sanctuary, to the dwelling of peace. and to the inheritance of the land which Yah your Allah will give you.
So there's 3 steps.
Yes, there
So
is.
you have to come to the sanctuary.
Hmm.
From the sanctuary, we will transition again down to the dwelling of peace. From the dwelling of peace, we will then grow to inherit the land. So there's 3 steps here.
Mm-hmm.
So you have not yet come to the sanctuary. Let me look around, make sure. You see anybody here?
No, sir, I
Me neither.
don't.
So you have not yet come to the sanctuary. Okay? You have not yet built the sanctuary.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I know a lot of people be like, well, I'll come in, I'll do some work. All right, you can if you make it. You have to understand you're not talking to me. None of you are talking to me. I don't talk to any of you. You have to hear these words and you are wrestling with your angel, right? You're going to have to wrestle with your angel and decide on whether or not you're going to give. And when I say your angel, most of you wrestling demons out there.
Woo.
You're saying what? Because if you don't give to the building of the sanctuary, you're listening to the demon, to the jinn. Don't do this righteous thing. This man is a liar.
Mm-hmm.
You're listening to demons. You're saying what? How can you say that we're listening to demons? Because I'm reading you the law, and the law says to do this. And you are trying to negotiate out of doing this for illegitimate reasonings.
And as well as there are those who are negotiating based on the way they want to do it.
And that is the problem. That's how you know you are talking to a demon. You're not talking
Mm-hmm.
to the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking to the demon.
Yeah.
All right? Go ahead, read the next line.
But when you have passed over Jordan,
What?
but when
Oh,
but when.
when?
Yeah.
Meaning you might want to do this.
Yes.
I know, because
Yeah.
if you don't, then this is a lie. So now you have to. Moses said you have to pass over Jordan now. Moses said you have to pass over the Jordan then to Joshua. Welcome to the second Joshua generation.
And dwell in the land which Yah your Allah will give you to inherit, and he hath given you repose.
Repose is rest. So now you have to come in to begin the work to get the rest.
From all your enemies round about. Then shall you build the house of the sanctuary, and afterward shall dwell securely.
So you have to cross Jordan to dwell in the land, right? That the Most High gives you to inherit. And then he has to give you rest from your enemies, which you are surrounded by.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then shall you build. You build it. Now you saying, wait, we build it. Right, you build it. Whoever pays for the building owns the building.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not going to buy the land and do the physical labor, then you have to buy the land and pay for the work to be done.
Mm-hmm.
Is that understood?
Very simple and plain.
And you only have this option. You don't have another one. So now, after you build the sanctuary, afterwards we can dwell securely. What? You don't have to worry about a them or they and what they doing to the food and what blah blah. You don't have that. All the chemicals, you don't have it. Why? You here alone. If you didn't make it, it's not here.
And to the place
So there is an exact location crossing Jordan.
which the word of Yah will choose to make his Shekinah to dwell there.
So when you get to that place, right? You get to this place, and the Shekinah, which is among the people. So the people own the land. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
The people own the land. They move to the place. The buildings is built. They're getting together. They're starting their crops. They're starting their flocks. Right? What are you to do when you get there?
Shall you bring
There shall you bring
all your oblations?
all your, see, there. When you have everything in your possession from the ground up, there is where you bring your oblations. Don't bring your oblations to no camp leaders. Don't bring your oblations to no church. Don't bring your oblations to no prophets. They all lie. Don't bring your oblations to nobody. Your oblations is for the building of the sanctuary. All of your giving. Don't give to nobody. Don't give to no charity. Don't give to the homeless. Don't give to nobody. You have to save and preserve yourself. Give to the sanctuary.
As we're reading this, I want to make sure I'm clear. His Shekinah. His Shekinah is over here where his word choose, correct? So that means his Shekinah is not over there in the captivity, right?
That's not the location. So stop giving. Don't give to no charity, no church, no organizational nothing. Give to the building of the sanctuary. If you don't, when death chases you down, you know it was on this account.
Shall you bring all your oblations,
Your oblations.
firstlings?
So again, everything that has to be bought here, you can't have firstlings if you don't have flocks.
Right.
What else?
And tithes, which I command you.
Which I am commanding you to do this. I'm telling you, I am commanding you to do this way. There shall you offer your sacrifices and hallowed victims. There eat your tithes and the separation of your hands, your offerings. Eat them. This is food.
Yes.
And all your goodly vows, which you may have vowed before Yah. Okay? Did you see that? I'm commanding you to do it this way. If you don't do it this way, you can tell the Most High personally yourself, you don't give two flying fig Newtons about what he got to say, about obeying nothing because you not doing it. And tell him your excuses because I'm here, so I don't care and I don't want to hear it. You're wrong and you're wrong. And you can tell the Most High, this law is wrong, and to do whatever he want to do because you want to see it. Tell him. I dare you.
And you shall rejoice before Yah your Allah.
So the place of rejoicing is here.
Here. Mm-hmm.
The rejoicing comes after we've done the initial preparatory work and received the benefits. Now we may rejoice because we have done all that has been commanded us to do. Next.
You and your sons and daughters, your servants and handmaids.
So now, again, without doing the preparatory work, first it was you and your household.
Yes, correct.
If you do the preparatory work, then the servants and the handmaids have a place to come to seek sanctuary. From what? From the war and destruction. From the curses that the Most High said he would bring. You will have a safe place to absorb them and have them work for you without buying and possessing the land for you to have work for them to do. You don't need servants because you don't own nothing. You have to pay your servants if you don't have nothing to pay them with. Then you don't have no employees.
And you know, and speaking of paying your servants and your handmaids, you want to wait till we come back?
Yeah, let's come back real quick.
You know, a lot of people don't quite understand when it comes to your servant and handmaids. The payment is not just about giving them money. You supply housing, you supply food. These are payments. So it's not just you giving them money. Because, you know, something, well, you know, I own my own business and, you know, I'll pay for somebody to come in and clean up and do all that. No, there's a lot more to having servants and handmaids than we even know or understand.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot more to it. But again, you don't get servants and handmaids because you don't possess no land. You don't have no land for no flocks, no herds. You have to have land that has to be vast. So when you tell me it takes me one day, I can buy up whole governance.
Yes.
It's
Yes,
just
sir.
money. Okay.
And the Levite,
Okay.
who is in your cities, for he have no portion or inheritance with you.
So it's you, your sons and daughters, your servants and handmaids, and the Levites. So you get the servants and handmaids after you get the land possession because they come to seek shelter from you, and then they're making the agreements of service.
Yes.
There is a course. We do have a training on how to contract servants and handmaids properly. We will give you the contract, and the person can work your field or whatever it is you're doing for the amount of time and what the agreed upon payment is upon his completion of his time of service, what he is to receive. So there's one for the first 7 years, and then after that, in the 7th year, he's free to leave. There's a year of remission. He can go anywhere he wants. He receives his payment at that time. Then there is another one for what?
Jubilee.
For the Jubilee, which is negotiated at the beginning of the 7th year when it's time for him to go.
Yes.
So again, you don't get the training on how to keep them, and you don't have the space or the place to keep them if you don't buy the land. All right. Read the next one.
Beware lest you offer your sacrifices in any place which thou mayest see. Ooh, beware.
Beware if the Most High catch you eating. So the sacrifices, he just says, there you shall eat.
So this
before Yah.
that's in the
So
land.
beware. Now I'm talking to my people. So you have clear understanding. Beware if the Most High catch you eating anything outside of the designated location where we are. The place where we buy the land and build the cities and everything else, beware. Because remember, the Most High is with the standard.
And with the land.
See, the standard is here in the land. You see it? It's right here. The standard is here in the land. So we have the standard, we here in the land, we have the law,
And we're doing the custom.
and we're doing the customs and traditions. And I'm here teaching you, giving you the knowledge of what to do, how to do it, what's the steps, how we make adjustments, how we correct ourselves, right? Nobody here is perfect. But we're following the steps which are perfect, which constantly readjust us. So we're constantly in conversion. So it doesn't matter how long you knew you was an Israelite. If you're not doing this, the Most High will cut you off from your people because you are simply eating. You're eating. So your tithes, your oblations, your free will offering, all of this is food. For having a sandwich in another location.
So you mean, be clear, because I was guilty of this when I was over there in captivity, having Passover functions and all these feast functionings and also I was under a warning.
Yeah, not even that. Remember, there's perpetuals.
Yes.
So it's every day.
Oh my goodness.
You forgot, right?
Oh my goodness.
The new moon feast just passed, and you all ate outside the land. The Shabbats passed by, and you're still eating outside the land. But you had the wrong Shabbats. No problem. I just reset them. So coming Friday, this Friday coming, tomorrow, you're going to be eating outside the land. So now you are going to be guilty until you have given. You will, all of you from today forward, will remain guilty until you have done that which is commanded. You've given for the sanctuary and you've prepared yourself to come. You will sit in guilt, just like the tribes of Reuben and Gad, because you are far off and we are here fighting for you to have your land and your inheritance. So now you will hold your guilt until we gain the fullness of the inheritance. You will remain guilty. And while you are guilty, the judgment is liable to come to you. And the Most High is liable to kill you, persecute you, and punish you until you do that which he has commanded.
But in the place which Yah will choose in the inheritance of one of your tribes. Yeah.
You see? He says you have to be in the inheritance of one
Of your tribe.
You're in none right now.
Yes.
See, right now I'm over here, right? So I'm in Jalad, I'm in the mountains in the north, right? So some of these areas was given to Reuben, to Gad, to Manasseh, depending on the location. Now, I know when we go to purchase the land, I'm going to purchase in one of these areas,
Right.
which is one of the tribes. The Most High will be there. When we move down to the dwelling of peace, Segev Shalom, when we move down to that area, we'll still be in the area of one of the tribes. We will either be in Judah or in Benjamin. because that border is there because that's that lot, the small lot, the metropolitan lot that is divided. You may be in Zebulun when we later get to the coast and take the port city, according to how the Most High increased us. But you're not going to get to any of those if you don't get over here and take this first. If you don't buy this, you're not going to get the other portions. You can forget about it because you were eating. You were eating. And that's why he's causing famine, because he caught you out there greasing up your lips. Even if you vegan, greasing up your lips on not your portion. That's the problem.
Yes, it is. There shall you offer your sacrifices and do whatever I command
So
you.
you have to be at the location. Aqua give you the right to pick it. I didn't. I read it to you. It says to be in the mountains. So however how much I receive is what I buy, and there we will do and implement the rest of the commandments. So it start with land.
Nevertheless, after every wish of your soul, you may kill and eat flesh according to the blessing of Yah your Allah, which he will give you in all your cities.
So you can kill and eat freely of all the lawful things here. But out there, that means fish off the table, locusts, flour, because it's offerings, right? It's all the bread. You can't have bread. You can't have wheat, right? The vegetables is the tithe. The fruit is a tithe. You can't have none of those things. Those are tithe and oblations. You're not supposed to be eating that outside of, not from your portion. From today forward, so that now you know.
They who are unclean, so as not to be able to offer holy things, and they who are clean, that they may offer holy things, may eat of it alike as the flesh of the antelope or of the hart.
Which is a deer.
Yes.
So whether you are clean or unclean, you can eat of the holy things like deer and antelopes. Okay? Right? And that's just in the deer family. Like, like we have ibex, antelopes, and different types of deer. But you can eat of this family freely in your land.
Only be careful to pour out the blood upon the ground like water.
Okay, so now it is lawful to eat these things, but you have to kill it in the manner that all the blood pour onto the ground, not in the sink, not in the drain. It has to go onto the ground.
It will not be lawful for you to eat the tenths of your corn or wine or oil or the firstlings of your herd or flock.
So now we're going, this is all in the land. So in the land, we can eat the deer. In the land, we can eat whether we are clean or unclean, right? If we are clean, we may offer holy things. So as it stands right now, the only one who can offer holy things, right, are the people who get clean or in the process of cleansing. Okay? You not here, you not clean.
Yes.
You can't even start to get clean till you get here.
And have your teacher.
You can't start till you get here,
That's right.
right? So all the men not in this land, not clean. All the men not giving to the building of the sanctuary, not
Not
clean.
clean. Mm-mm-mm-mm.
All the men doing whatever he sees fit for himself, not clean.
Whew.
All right.
Mm-mm. Nor any of the vows that you have vowed, or free will offerings, or the separation of your hands in your cities.
So it's not lawful for you to eat any of these things, right?
Wow.
In your cities. Okay,
Mm.
so where do we eat these? So we still going to eat these things,
Right,
but we can't eat them
right.
in your cities where you are now.
But you shall eat it before Yah your Allah in the place which Yah your Allah will choose.
So you can't do this anywhere else.
Mm-mm-mm.
Again, you have to be at the designated location.
You and your sons and daughters and your handmaids and the Levites who are in your cities, and you shall rejoice before Yah your Allah in all that thou puttest thine hand unto.
All right. Now, again, this is about you doing the work. So, in the place where you do the work in the land together, we'll be right back. 1 second. All right. Let me reset my timer. All right. So, this is about building the sanctuary and coming out from the nations. So, where you are, you have to do these righteous acts and deeds and build it in the land, in the mountains where we are now today. So we have to join hands and we have to work together. You have to send the money and we have to build this before you arrive because you're not allowed to work for the people of the land. It's not permitted, it's against the law. So there's no jobs. I can work on the internet. You can only work on the internet as long as it's working. You see? So we're building our own self sufficiency. We have to feed ourselves. We have to build for ourselves. So we have to do this jointly to provide for ourselves so that we may survive the coming wrath of the Most High. Now, moving forward, it tells you something very specifically. So, in one of your daily tests is monitoring what you say about any topic, about anything that you see, and about anyone. You're not allowed to speak to anyone any kind of way. There is no freedom of speech here. All right? Beware that thou aggrieve not the Levite all your days in which you dwell in your land. Period. So they will always be dealt with and given their place of respect. When Yah, your Allah, will have enlarged your border. See, so you have to get the border to get
Lord,
enlarged.
yes.
And has said unto you, and thou sayest, I would eat flesh because thy soul may desire to eat flesh. Thou mayest eat flesh according to all thy desire. But if the place which Yah, your Allah, will have chosen that the Shekinah may dwell there be too far off, then may you eat of your herds and your flocks, which Yah, your Allah, shall give you, as I have commanded you. In your cities you may eat according to all the desire of your soul. As the flesh of the antelope and the harp, so may you eat it. He who is unclean, that he may not offer holy thing, and he who is clean, that he may offer them, may eat of it alike. So you both can eat of it, clean or unclean, but only the clean may offer, the unclean cannot.
Cannot. Understood.
Now, when the Most High is talking about this priest here, right? So you get your borders enlarged, and when he says you may be afar off, that does not count because you have to have a border.
Yes.
You see? So what happens if I give and then I can't travel out because the feast day is coming? No. You gave. We know you're coming. You're planning to come. You're working on coming. You may eat and observe the festival day wherever you are because you're contributing to the building. Let me read it again for you.
Wow.
But if the place which Yah, your Allah, will have chosen that his Shekinah may dwell there be too far off, okay? So you have to be a part of that place. If you haven't put your hand to the work, you don't know whether you have to know where the place is to acknowledge that you're far off.
Wow.
And you have to be a part of that movement, meaning you're putting your hand to that work. Right? Because you're going to be observing the feast days with them. Meaning you're not on everybody's time. You're going to be keeping the festival day on the same time as the people who are in the place of his Shekinah. You wish to be there, but it is too far at the moment. You are on the way. You are en route. You are in transit. Then the Most High will, what? He will not look upon this as a sin.
Right.
No, he's given money to build the sanctuary. He's given money to build the sanctuary. He's he's getting his passport together. He's waiting for the visas to come back. He's planning on flying in 3 months. No, he's coming to the sanctuary. He needs time. He's coming in August. He's coming in September. He's coming. He needs time. They have to build for him. They need time to build for him or her or them. So it says, you may eat of it alike. Only put restraint upon your desires, that you eat no blood, for the blood is the substance of life. You may not with flesh eat blood, which is the sustenance of life. Don't eat no blood. Okay?
And if I may, I'm a chef. So you need to know that what you call juice coming out the steak
It's blood.
is blood.
Cook it all the way, okay? Well done?
It's blood.
Well done, okay? Cook it all the way through. It's not supposed to be red or pink. So here's something that most of you don't know. All of your meat, you wash it in salt water. Salty water. This draw the blood out.
Yes.
Now, again, when you get here, you're going to learn how we do certain cuts. And the animal, in its passing, all the blood is driven out of its body onto the ground. So you guys don't know. So you're doing things weird. Your meat is already pre-butchered. It's not killed properly. So again, this is why he's telling you to come out from among them.
Yes. Yes.
It must be your own. You have a way of doing things the right way so that you don't incur sin. Now, if you don't acknowledge this, don't worry. Get what you got coming.
Yes. Yes.
All right? You shall not eat of it. Don't eat blood. You shall pour the blood out upon the ground like water. Eat it not, that it may be well with you. Don't eat the blood. Don't eat the blood. Don't eat the blood. That it may be well with you and with your children after you, while you do that which is right before Yah. While you do it. So while you're preparing to do all these righteous things that I am teaching you, be sure you don't eat no blood. Nevertheless, animals which are consecrated tents and your votive offerings you shall take and bring to the place which Yah your Allah will choose. So again, your tenth, because you are far, the law governing the tenth is take the money and send it over, and that it may be converted back into food in the land.
Yes.
See, I showed you that yesterday.
Yes, you did.
So you take the money and you say, I'll send it over here, a tenth of the food and everything, the money. Because we're not taking the money and shoving it in our pockets and buying cars and junk. No, we're actually buying dirt. We're buying lots and areas and plots and neighborhoods, and we're planting food and crops. So now your tithe has become food in the sanctuary. It's food. So that when you come and you begin the work and we separate the tenth from the multiplying, your tenth is in it. It's in the food. You're giving food. We want to grow our own food so we can finally eat healthily. This will extend our days. No farms, no food. And thou shalt do with them according to the right of thy burnt offerings, and offer the flesh and the blood upon the altar of Yah thy Allah. The blood and the rest of thy holy oblations shall be poured out by the altar of Yah thy Allah. But of the flesh it is lawful to eat. Observe and obey all these words that I command you, that it may be well with you and with your children after you forever, while you do that which is good and right before Yah your Allah. Observe and obey all these words that I command you, that it may be well with you. You thinking you not doing it, it's not going to be well with me? I'm doing it. I'm doing it, baby.
Yes.
No, I'm doing it. That it may be well with you.
Yes.
And with your children. After you forever. It's going to be good for me and mine's, baby. You the one not here. Now go and try to find it somewhere else like you've been doing. It don't exist. While you do that which is good and right before Yah your Allah, when Yah shall have cut off the nations among whom you go, and have expelled them before you, and you inherit and dwell in their land, beware that you stumble not after their idols when they shall have been destroyed before you, unless you seek after their idols, saying, how did these people worship their gods that we may worship as they did? So that's what you're doing now.
Sure is.
That's what you've been doing, trying to figure out how to do your worship.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So you go into them asking them, well, how did they do this? And how did the Israelites do? And science said, no, science is a religion. I'm telling you now. So now you have this. You have land, you have law, you have a custom. Now we're going to keep it.
Mm-hmm.
The Most High is getting ready to destroy the nations and the people in them, because you have to come to the place where He should kind of dwell. Now the people who are in this nation, the Most High is getting ready to make space for us. How are you going to make space? We're going to buy the land and they're going to move. That's how we're going to make space. We don't even need no weapons of war to do that. Give up these raggedy dollars before America fall. Give them up. Give up the raggedy pounds. Give up of the money that you have, the silver, the gold, whatever. Give to this so that we may have our own and may offer upon it so that we may eat and it be well with us and our children after us forever. So shall you do in serving Yah, your Allah. For whatever is abominable and hateful to him have they done to their idols. For even their sons and daughters they have bound and burned with fire unto their idols. That's what they've done in the nations. That's what human trafficking is all about. And that's what they're doing to you while you out there. And you're still looking to figure out what's going on. Well, that's my time for today. That's chapter 12. Tomorrow is chapter 13. Well, not tomorrow. Tomorrow's Shabbat. But the next class will be chapter 13. Moving right along, one step at a time, one day at a time. One.